Good morning. How is everybody? Welcome to our gathering, Paul and Marby. It's always, today's Wednesday, right? Well, we're going to talk about a few different things today. First, let's make sure that our area and our arena is in protection of the beloved I Am Presence and bring up through the violet flame as we call on the Gautama Buddha to bring forth his protective blue flame to surround everyone 4 inches thick around your outer boundaries of your protection. And so be it. And we're going to call Mother and Father deep into our hearts. And there we're going to seek to discover the thread of truth. Deep within that, first the green light, then the gold light, we're going to look to find the thread that is the thread of truth. So as you work with this, you're going to achieve where you can begin. Maybe it'll take a year or two or a few months, who knows? Then when you have a question inside yourself, it will show itself to you to know what's true and what's not. For in our world today, perhaps that is one of the greatest questions, is what's best for me or what's not? And we don't always know, and it's courage and strength sometimes that has us step out on a whole different level of awareness. Good morning, Barbara. So, I wanted to talk about freedoms. Yes, it's true. It's everywhere around us that you're hearing, and everyone seems to have a different perception of what freedom is for. So, what I have written is from Franklin Roosevelt, and it's all talked about how he was the one who was with the normal Joe, you know, not Joe Biden, but just the normal person. So the number one is the freedom of speech and expression. And I can't imagine how any of us would feel if that were taken from us. That our feelings are our feelings, and we believe, the right to express them in a safe way and to be heard or not to be heard. First and foremost, to be heard by yourself. Number two is to be and have the freedom to worship God however each individual desires to. That there's no have to, no large organization that takes over everybody. But it's to have that freedom, however you choose to discover that it is, and allow that to be true for you. And then the freedom from want. And I myself thought about this for a moment before I looked at what the meaning was. And it's, we want a lot of things. And I know that in my healing work, having a want usually pushes your lessons further away and harder to attain. So his perception is to desire an economic balance. And that's going to be different for everyone. Good morning, Cavell. Glad you joined us. So it's about not having, we don't want any of us nickel and dime it. We want, and we know God will always provide us with what we truly need. And that is going to be the awareness inside the heart that's going to create just a blanket of that truth for everyone when it reaches that point that all thoughts must meet to have it become forever. So the final one is that no one will ever have an aggression towards a neighbor against any will or anything like that, not even mankind, countries, nobody. It will be unthought of to pick up and have an anger or a dysfunction between another person. It is that much freedom that we each have. And yes, certainly still there may be those who don't want to go by the rules and have love and acceptance for everyone around them. But in this writing, it was to understand that the humankind were people that could come to that point. That it's just about love and acceptance. I know with some of the people I'm working with, they're starting to feel love outside of themselves coming towards them as they've learned to love themselves more. It's a very fascinating thing to hear the excitement, almost as if it's the little child. Oh, now I have all these friends and da 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 da, and they talk about this, and before I just went in, picked up, and left. Well, that's all meaningful because that's meaningful, meaning that you are beginning to love, cherish, and honor yourself inside. So it's almost like you'll be walking a new person. And I understand that feeling. You're going to be like, well, what's different? And it's the residue of distortion that was in your aura that, for however reason, has left. And you have a choice now. How do you want to be? Are you going to be open and willing to let other people know you? As I had discovered a lot of fear of rejection, fear of not being seen. All these are real, actual things. But some people have been working pretty deep and are all of a sudden standing there and like, wow, who am I? I just feel love. Who am I? And I say to you, that is the goal. That is the goal. So we'll bless his soul, Franklin Roosevelt, because he saw the vision of where we're going. And I can only add to that prayer to know it will come. And may it be during my lifetime or yours. But it would be wonderful. Wonderful to not have a concern, to have complete freedom, because I feel he expressed that pretty well. All right. Any questions about any of that? So I had someone who has talked to you before come forward today. And if I show you where she's from, you'll know who it is. Althea, from above heaven. So it seems like we've all grown more. Perhaps more is happening there for us to know. And most importantly, I want you to open your heart and let yourself feel the energy of this. I spoke about the freedom, but now let's talk about the love. Because everyone who's made it to that grouping of these lovable beings are more than that. I don't know what the word would be, but more than that. So good morning, Christina. Thank you for coming. All right, so let me go in and we'll call forth Althea. She had told me that a lot of all who used to come with her are busy today. She had not yet shared what they're also busy about. I do not know. And I'm hearing now preparing. So let me go there so she can be the one to share any good news she has. Oh my, hello, hello. Here you are again. We almost thought that you forgot about us, that there was no point in even desiring to have you come. But there is so much happening here, so much love. There is a preparation of more of you, more of the humankind to be allowed to come up into where we are, where there's simply perfection, where there is no thought of not, there's only the thought that is. It must be interesting for you to contemplate. But there's a great happiness here, great happiness in that we don't have to contemplate what will make us happy because we are happy. I know it may take a moment for your mind to bring that into realization, to really contemplate what does it really take to make you happy. And you might start with a long list and continue going and going. But here where we are, there is no list. We can actually state we are happy, happy and free to be. So, does this place exist? My goodness, yes, here I am. It does exist. I am here, and I hope you can feel my love and my happiness as we look about the world. We understand and know that it is only that we can look for it through our truth and know that we see it once again become the happiness and the love. And please join us. Don't allow that which you see in the destruction and the attachments to people have to how they must feel, and let them go. Let them go, for they do not define you. And you may say to me, well, what does define me? And I'm going to say to you, love is the magic that defines you. And in that, it is like a birthday party every day. If you had them, you would know. So there is a great wonderment about what's next. Until yet, we have no idea to say to you, perhaps another planet that will be free of the dogma of what has been and have a willingness to let it move and not exist, but have the love and happiness. I have heard this myself whispered around. So you say to me, so you do have whispers. We don't have whispers in disgruntledness. We have whispers in excited. All is a different perception in how we see things and the earth. And most importantly, you. We do not see you as a problem or that you have problems. Our intention here is to help you be supported, to know that you have all you ever need to be the truth, find love and happiness. And when you get to where you can allow this truth for yourself, there will be no question. There will be no question. The fear that any of you here that are speaking to me of death, you must allow it to go, for there is no fear. There is a movement into a place of freedom and love. And perhaps achieving some of the things you did not think you ever had time to. There are those who draw absolutely in a craftsman energy, images, those who build things, sometimes, many times, without the freedom of the dogma, realities of who you truly are and what you can do to support emerge. My name is Althea, and I am here, and we await often your visit. We are glad that you come on this day. God is more than words can be spoken. The illumination is, I don't like to use this word, but it's blinding. There's nothing else but the glow of the perfection of that truth. And each soul desires it to be a part of that holiness, that godliness, that there is not one little speck of dust in the way of a negative that can be existent in that within anybody. So begin to live life happier and freer, and you might find that your world will change. More will come to you. You will have freedom beyond that which you thought before. And you can lovingly speak all words. It's a lot about the intention the human has, and you must begin to let that go, for the intention isn't always loving. But when you can say to another, I love you so much as I love myself, You have given a gift. You have given a process for someone to contemplate and begin to perhaps learn how to perceive differently. So the visitor we have today is not from your world, but once was in your world, and it is Mother Mary. She often comes to be with us to love her loving place within her heart, for she does many things and visits many areas. So let's let her speak, since she's arrived here knowing that you are here. Hello, my dearest souls, my friends, my love. Honored to have you come, to desire to want to know more about love, freedom, generosity, most and first to yourself. In my study with the Ashtar Command, the Masters, there were long days. There were days where I thought I could not speak anymore or think anymore. But the desire of that which I wished to become true was more powerful than the experience of my physical form. So I studied and I prepared and was so honored to be asked to be the mother of the coming of the Christ. This life we speak of was so profound and ever so written within the fabric of my being. I wish for each of you to begin to create this inside yourself, this love, by having forgiveness for all things, by blessing that which does come to you, and a love that is sweet as the garden of flowers, and to have your voice become soothing and at peace. I say to you once again, do not be afraid, for fear is fear itself. It has the ability to move you from love into terror, and we must not allow that to corral us. We must instead be persistent, and we are love. We are the love of God that we hold within each of us. We are the truth. We are free to be. So, my most healing love I send to all of you in its beautiful green light. And if you haven't felt it before, may you feel it now. And feel the chill of illumination. I am the love. I am love. I am happiness. I am free. So as I take my friend Althea's hand, together we wish you all well, not for life, but for living the life you choose, living the life you choose by being in love and free and choosing, for you always have the golden thread within your heart to know what's true. So, I have work to be done here with Althea, so it is time we leave. But no, I will not, as she will not forget you. Be blessed, my friends, my love friends, and allow God to touch you and keep you safe. For you are aware you can always say no, but why would you? So many blessings, my friend. So many blessings. Oh, there's Christina, Cavell, Jules learning to listen. Any questions about any of that? So we talked to Sophia and Mother Mary. And I could feel that we were in an ethereal place, that there was not any defining area around them. They were very high. Oh, you're right. Paul is very powerful. I'm going to share with you something that's coming to my mind, and I didn't think that I would. I had an experience yesterday. We're here in Florida, and we are on a lake. And they come and mow the lawn all the time, and I was watching kind of in my state. And I look up, and the man, there's a little shed out by the lake. He had taken his mower right up to it and was sitting there. And I'm thinking, I still hear like there's a second mower. And within a moment, I saw wheels come around the shed, and the one he was on disappears. It's like he moved through it and kept running and went on back and forth. Probably a glitch in something. So he pulled up in front of which would make no sense, in front of the little building. And then in a matter of moments, the wheels were coming around the corner of the hutch, the shed, and he went on moving, and the original one disappeared. I don't know. It can only be that it's a space in time where there's a wormhole or something. I don't know. But it's the first time like that I've physically experienced. It was very different. Yeah. So if anyone ever has anything like that, sure, come on and let us know. Because we're always learning not only about ourselves, but around our world and our auras and what's possible and what isn't. I don't want to go stand out there, I'll tell you that. It's not because I'm afraid. It would not be until I have an awareness of what it is. So, do we have any questions out here today? Hello, hello. Yes. I hope you have a great weekend coming up. The time we saw the moon last night, it was very gold here. I don't know what it was everywhere, but it was like a honey gold, and it was smaller than usual. Usually we see a great big moon, and it like hangs over the center of the lake. This was off to the side, and I would say less than half the size as we usually see. I don't know what you all experienced out in your world, but very interesting. Things are changing. It's almost like something's up. Like up and above heaven, they were preparing for something, but really didn't want to say exactly what it was. So I have no idea. But I would imagine that at a powerful time, all the love in the world from God would be called forward. And that certainly would be those beings and Mother Mary, who has certainly learned in her life the power of God within. And they were going to talk, so I don't know. I do not know. So, any questions? We have some minutes left. There's Barbie, Cavell, Barbara. No question in that little mind of yours, Barbara? That's so large. Oh, let me see. Go back up. Oh, that's right, Paul. Yeah. So we'll be aware, all of us, of some of the messages. Yes, it was about freedom and statements that Federal Franklin Roosevelt had written about freedom. And that's what you'll hear. And it was about, I can tell it to you quickly, speech and expression, be able to be free to worship God as you choose, and to have an economic balance, and most importantly, freedom of fear. Marby says, no question here, and Paul says, amen. You know, I think as anytime I work with higher people, there's always the call that all of you need to be participating. And participating in what? Participating in owning the love of God that you are. And however that is, and whatever level on your journey you are, that He's alive and well in my heart. And if you're attempting to have it become that, freedom and love, that you could, neighbors will no longer agitate towards each other all across the world. That is the dream. And as I believe in their dreams, I would say the truth. And even in our own relationships and in our own humankind, neighbors will love neighbors. I believe it's in the words that Moses brought down, love your neighbor. So we need to begin to bring those things into our living. For I happen to very much believe that God takes care of me and I'll always have everything I need. But you need to ask yourself, do you believe that yet? And if not, why? And begin to unravel wherever that is, that thought, and where it came from, and let it go. Because it's not true. And it was beautiful, Mother Mary bringing you her emerald ray. Her emerald ray is very powerful. She would be, if I was leaving a client for healing, the first person that I would ask to come and work with that individual every night with her emerald healing. Very powerful. For you know, the emerald is the heart and a great amount of love. So, I hope you all enjoyed all that and the message. We can kind of go off for the weekend with a little bit of hop, skip, and a jump. Click, click. Oh, yes, my husband. He's probably tired of me being funny. My mother once, when I was smaller, said, you could be the next, what's her name? I thought, lost her name as soon as I went to say it. The redhead. You all know who I mean. But I didn't go for a life and for comedic, whatever it is. You're wearing little emeralds. Very nice. And Barbara says, freedom from fear is truly the most important thing we need right now. I'm holding that space where we will all live together in love and peace and have health. That we will no longer age and our body can be vibrant and walk and thrive and breathe. Yes, there's too many of the people today sitting and worrying about their health. So what we can do as light workers is know there is no such thing as disease. There is loving. And you can always love things and have things disappear. And if you don't believe that yet, work with it and see what happens. How do people heal? By using the light of God's love. I am sure there is, not that I can give out those names, but they are just the people. We didn't talk just to heaven. We were up above heaven. So everyone who passes forward goes into heaven. These are such purified people, Althea and them. They are above heaven. They are chosen. So I'm going to go with all that. Getting a little bit too heavy-debby. I almost had her name again. Carol Burnett. My mother told me I was another Carol Burnett, but we'll never know. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. If you hung out with me, you'd be laughing all the time. All right. Amen to all. Amen to today. Thank you all for coming. See you on Monday. Many blessings.